Hey up, chaps. Welcome to 4Q Franchise Wars, Jurassic Park.
Oh, yes. So, who are you?
I'm Woody. I can't see where everyone is.
Yeah, neither can I.
So, I'm Fingermouse. I'm here to talk about it as well. We've got to my left, we have Munt.
Hello, everybody.
And to the bottom left on this, screen, or it may be bottom right, is Ronan, all the way live from New York again.
Hey, y'all.
So you've got a lovely setting, Martin. So that looks pretty good.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's my new recording room.
You may as well, mate.
Well, it's all very handy.
So
Echo really works.
I thought it'd be good to, a bit like we did with Back to the Future, is sort of talk about first memories, because I remember 1993 and the build up to that film coming out, and Mark will remember, because obviously being at home, how massive it was and how it was everywhere. It was just the biggest thing ever. It
was like 89 Batman. Suddenly you had mugs, T-shirts, posters. Everything had Jurassic Park logo on it. I remember drinking a lot then, but I also remember this film, so it's got to have been absolutely everywhere.
I think it was the first time in my life I'd been to the cinema twice to watch something, because it was that good. I wanted to go again.
Yeah.
You paid twice.
I don't know whether I paid.
You paid once, then you complained and watched it again for free.
That's normally how I do it now. But it was so long in the making as well. I remember reading about stuff and listening about stuff about it coming, and they originally started doing it with Harryhausen and animation type thing to begin with, and then all of a sudden somebody said we can do this with CGI, and it just changed cinema as we know it, pretty much like Star Wars did, and it just looks fantastic, and the storyline is great from beginning to end. I have got a few niggles about the first one, but I don't know whether you want to go into niggles yet, or we want to stay positive. But
we'll wait for you to Munt after.
For me, it's a typical Spielberg film. You know how much I like Close Encounters. I love Jaws and I love E.T. And it has got that typical Spielberg film of a story driving along at a nice slow pace, and then a little bit of a spectacle, this crescendo at the end, and it works great. I love the movie. I can't really knock it too much, but I will in a bit.
I think we'll all easily agree, probably even before we start off, this is number one.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I mean, I was 10 when the first one came out, so like,
the child.
Obviously when you're 10, like, dinosaurs are the best thing ever anyway, and then you stick them on a giant screen as like the most realistic you've ever seen them, and you know, you're just completely, you know, I'm not sure enamored is the word, but it really just captures something in a kid. I spent a few years wanting to be a paleontologist. That's what I wanted to be when I grew up. So yeah, and I like, it was shortly after that I read the book. I'm pretty sure I saw the film before I read the book, because the film kind of reinforced my enthusiasm for dinosaurs and the like. So, like, you know, when you're a kid, it's kind of a big, heavy book, but it was full of dinosaurs, so it didn't matter. I didn't care.
I was going to say, to read that at 10, that's pretty good going, mate.
Yeah, so I've read it a few times since, and the way I've worked it out is that you should read it when you're 10 for the dinosaurs, you should read it in your 20s for the science, and then you should read it in your 30s for the philosophy. And I think those are the three interpretations you can get from Jurassic Park by reading it at different ages.
The three Jurassic ages. Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought I always thought, I wondered if Jurassic Park to me was what I remember, the sheer buy-in from media, from merchandising, literally everywhere you went, every TV program, every magazine and newspaper you picked up, everything was focused around Jurassic Park. I remember a newspaper had a 6-page pullout. It was basically an advert paid for by the makers to go, oh yeah, this is all about the film, and it was full of spoilers, and you were like, oh, I can't wait to see that bit. Oh, the T-Rex is going. It was everywhere. And then they even parodied themselves in the film, saying, "Oh, you know, Jeff Goldblum says, oh, you slap it on a plastic lunchbox," and they're literally doing this. They've done this before you've even sat in the cinema. It was such a huge marketing campaign. It was brilliant. It was just great to be.
I love the fact that you're wearing a Jurassic Park T-shirt at the moment, just to reinforce that point.
I was bought into it. Look, this is Jurassic Park T-shirt. Mark's got one. This was from Orlando because I've been on the Jurassic Park ride, which was crap.
Oh, you fancy pants!
But the first one for me was incredible. It had everything. It had got just. It's John Williams again, so the music was great. You got hooked onto it straight away. Jeff Goldblum is the rock star. You got the dinosaurs did what you needed them to do. It was just great. I love the first one. Absolutely.
Well, the mechanical working parts worked so well with the CGI. You couldn't really tell where they were changing from like CGI to the mechanical actual parts. It's fantastic for that sort of thing.
Well, because for the first time ever, we watched a film and the dinosaurs were real, and we'd watched loads of other films and they'd used lizards. God, that Journey to the Centre, all the shit. And
that's in bearded dragons, iguanas, everything. Yeah.
So we got King Kong version of what dinosaurs were. For the first time ever, we had got look like real living, breathing dinosaurs, the movement, everything. Where you're watching special effects, but they're special effects which feel so real and look so real. Yeah. That's what sold it.
You knew it wasn't a Japanese guy in a suit coming up from the depths 30 stories high, breathing fire. He stands in the sky, Godzilla!
It's funny, actually. Ronan mentions reading the book. I read the book as well. And it's actually a lot darker, so there's a lot more death in it. So Ian Malcolm dies, and you're there going, oh right, and then you go back to the film and go, oh yeah, I can see why Spielberg cut those bits out to make it work. It's got its moments, it's got its wincing moments. Let's not forget Attenborough's Scottish accent that drifts away relatively quickly.
I don't mind that. Yeah. I really don't. It doesn't kill this. It's certain actors. You know, he'll get away with it because he is who he is. He's just amazing, full stop. But it's just you were bombarded. Your senses were bombarded by everything you were seeing, everything you were hearing on there. It was, as you say, it was just going in there and actually seeing dinosaurs for the first time, really, in your life. From all the Harryhausen stuff that you'd seen, all the things that you'd seen as a kid and everything, then suddenly these things, these giant, real-life, actually existed monsters were there on screen, and they were fantastic.
They were fantastic, but this is where I've got a few negs, and we are wearing rose-tinted glasses because it was something we'd never seen before. But in a 2-hour movie, which was about dinosaurs, the dinosaurs themselves only have a screen time of 13.5 minutes in the entire 2-hour movie. Now, that's either a case of we don't remember how little the dinosaurs are in it because we were so like, whoa, when they were there. And it also is a reflection on the budgetary restrictions they actually had got for making the first movie, even though it looks so fantastic. And that is one of my big downers with the first one, is watching it back now, 20-odd years later, is how little the dinosaurs are actually in the movie.
Have you watched it back lately?
Yeah, I watched it just before I watched The Fallen Kingdom again with the kids.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I've watched it over the past couple of days, probably the same as Ronan, I'm guessing. And I still loved it. There was still enough in there. Didn't detract. I didn't sit there thinking, oh, there's barely any dinosaur in here. I thought, does. There's lots of suspense.
Yeah, what I would say to that is that, like, you know, they'd paid these actors a lot of money. They're not going to give more screen time to the dinosaurs who can't say anything.
And where it costs them more per minute for the dinosaurs to be on screen.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
because that's what I do. I like to pull things apart a little bit, and that is one of the negs for me. In a movie that hasn't got many, is I would have looking back now when I watched it again. It is a bit of a drag for the first 45 minutes once you know the story and you've watched it once.
So you say you prefer 2 and 3 where there's more dinosaur.
I think they have to build up appropriately, and I think one thing that I noticed you said just there, it's a film about dinosaurs, and I would contest that. I don't think it's about dinosaurs. I think it's about the relationship between dinosaurs and humans.
Yeah.
Especially because of the fact that they're 65 million years apart. I wouldn't say it's about dinosaurs. It's
about man.
Relationship. Yeah.
No, when you're a kid, you don't give a shit about that. You just want to sit about and killing and eating everything. God, you ask any 12-year-old what they want to see. Do you want to see a man talking to another man about how they made the dinosaurs for 40 minutes, or do you want to watch a T-Rex eat a bloke on the dog 40 times?
I want to see a lady shoving a fist into a massive pile of poo.
We'll talk about Jurassic Park 3 in a minute. I think it's all right. I mean, I think the hook for me is when you're watching that scene where Malcolm and Sam Neill and Laura Dern's character, Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler, they're on those Jeeps. And the head turn bit for me that's the bit for me where it really gets you. I remember seeing that. Just that bit. And those the effects and everything stand up now. I could quite happily go and see that in 2020 and I would still be like, oh, look at that. You know, when less so much the Brachiosaurus that's bouncing around and they go, oh, look, it's a dinosaur. That was good. But it's the head turn when you see them herding in that bit. I just love that bit. I just thought that was amazing because that looked real. It looked real. Yeah.
One of the things that always
where the music comes up there as well is such an important part as well.
What was that? Sorry.
The music that comes up with the head turn.
Yeah.
I think that's what brings that scene all together. I thought.
Yeah.
Complete movie again. It's a complete movie. Some of the ones that we've done recently, you hit them and they're a complete movie. They've got everything going for them. The right director, the right actor, the right casting, the right music, and it just pulls together and just makes an almost perfect movie. I've got to admit though, one of the scenes that really sticks with me that I'll remember all the time must have been the cheapest scene to film. Glass of water, the ripple. Just while they're all in the Jeeps, just a glass of water and the ripple.
Film using a guitar string under a fake dashboard. It was a guitar E string going dong. That's what did that.
That really scary Jeep that chases them down the tree and nearly kills them. Oh, that is 5 or 10 minutes that could cut out for me, no problem at all. I'll just sit there and watch it going, oh, Christ, look at this, there's a Jeep falling down a tree. Oh, the pace, the tension, the action. Where's the dinosaurs, for God's sake?
Yeah, but Mark...
You just cut an action scene.
But look, I'll defend it. Look at the payoff. Look, you are, and I know you're being particularly niggly. The payoff, the T-Rex and the Raptors at the end is magnificent. You can't. It's amazing. you can't sit there and go, "Oh, that was a bit pants." It's brilliant.
It's only why do they end up in the jungle with them and they don't have a way out? Oh yeah, because the Jeep crashed and they can't drive that anymore. It's one of those things they've had to put it in there. It's just a vehicle to drive the film on and an action set piece at the same time. I know, Mark. Mark's got to munt it. He's got to munt it. He's got to, because it's what he does. He's looking for the negative for all of us. God bless him.
I think so. The second of my two niggles with it is the Raptors opening doors because it's very convenient. And I just thought, yeah, we know they're intelligent, but to just chuck that in within, it's 100,000 years worth of behavioural evolution in 3.5 minutes on the film was a little bit, when you look back at it now as a 30-year-old, as you were saying earlier, Ronan, you'd go, no, that was a bit naff. But that's a niggle.
Yeah, but also
great.
the fact that those raptors are 6 foot and raptors were 3 foot in reality.
Oh,
because because of this film, you actually looked into finding out these facts.
Yeah.
Because this film made you want to find out.
I've got no issue with the raptors opening the door, to be honest, because they were intelligent, and if you can see our cat and my dog does it, they open the doors.
Yeah. My sister's dog does it.
Yeah.
And they did say right at the start of the film, when you think about the start of the film, when they first introduced the raptors, and Muldoon says they keep throwing themselves against the electric fence to try and find a weakness. When you think that's the commitment they have to getting out, opening a door doesn't seem that unreasonable.
Yeah. No, fair.
As I said, I'm being particularly picky because I bloody love the film. I think it's great. That first film is right up there for me.
Yeah.
I don't find many faults with it.
The one thing that sticks out for me is when the kid gets into the security program on the PC and goes, "Oh, I know this system," and she started going round and the graphical interface, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell's going on? How is a 13-year-old girl going to know why the security system works of a big multinational park? That
Kids know computers.
She's a hacker. She says it. She's very, very, very emphatic about the fact that she's a hacker.
Oh, she's a hacker.
So, The Lost World.
The Lost.
I
think going back to what Martin said, kind of when we were faffing around there, it's the start of its like soulless era of Jurassic films was The Lost World, and I'm going to pick up on that later on because I mean it doesn't recover for a bit.
It's quite. I was just trying to think. Watching them all recently, I think what's the difference between them? The first one is so fantastic and appeals and fulfills you in many different ways, and yet watching all of the others, both of the follow-on Park 2, Park 3, then Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom, you're thinking they're all packed with action. They've all basically got the same characters or versions of the same character going on and all that. They're all telling basically the same sort of story. What happened there? But they're all kind of soulless compared to the first one. The first one, as Ronan said, it works on these different levels. When you're a kid, it's the dinosaurs. Then in your 20s, it's the science. In your 30s, it's the whole sort of human tale of it all.
My biggest problem with Lost World, it's about half an hour too long. That could cut out a lot of crap in it and really shrink it down, which is why I prefer 3 to this.
I was going to say, the best thing about 3 is they chop off like about 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
They really struggle to have a story, and you can go in, hang on, I ain't quite 100% sure what I'm meant to be watching with this one. I forgot what it's bloody called now.
Lost World.
Lost World. It's a bit convoluted. I mean, they've just basically, you can just tell what we've got. Jeff Goldblum to come back. What should we get him to do? And he's just like a spare part, really, through the entire film. And
what annoys me about what annoys me about Lost World is it's basically, it does all the film, it does the third act, then it decides, no, you know what? Let's do a fourth act. Let's throw it up. Let's take the dinosaur back and let's kickstart the story again. Let's give you another half hour here.
Let's do a Godzilla homage, because that's what it's in that last half an hour. It's like that's going around the streets, like, and they even parody themselves in the film, having a bunch of Japanese people run away, like them scared, like it is Godzilla. It is irritating, that last 20 minutes for me.
But I think the difficulty with the Lost World and the third one as well, compared to Jurassic Park, the original, is it didn't have as good source material to go on with the book. If you compare Jurassic Park, the book, to the Lost World, the book, there's like the same gap that you see between the first and second films as the first and second gap in the book also. So when you're kind of trying to derive it from weaker source material, it's going to be a weaker film.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the 2 and 3, I think of them together, to be quite honest, because they're both kind of afterthoughts and cash-ins and not that relevant to the overarching story of Jurassic Park, even in the context of the 5 films. Like, you could ignore them and it's fine. It's as if they never happened.
Yeah.
And
You
when you
say went on, that's it.
Yeah.
I've got with the second one is the first one, the basis of the story is they need to have experts come and look at the island to say that it's okay for insurance purposes. Simple. Yeah. The third one, there's a kid gone missing on the island who was off with the boyfriend of the mom. They dupe a couple of people to go back to the island to go and rescue him. Simple. What's the simple storyline of this one? And that's what irritates me. It's just like, what's going on? Where are we? Trying to capture the dinosaurs. We got Alan Grant going to find his girlfriend who's on the second island, and then they've got the stowaway acrobatic adopted daughter, which I've got no idea why that's in there. There's no simple, straightforward plot with this film, and it's just everywhere, and it feels everywhere as you're watching it.
I think I'm a bit with Ronan on this. The book isn't great. I've read The Lost World, and it's like they took elements and said, "Oh, we'll put that in. We need the flying dinosaurs. We miss those, so we've got to make sure they get shoehorned in." It feels like it's one of those where it feels very much like it's one film which is, oh, isn't this pretty? We're going to go and see them in their natural habitat, and thank God we had Site B and all that. And you're meant to think it's a little bit more like a natural history film and an ecology and looking after them. And then they just go and chuck in, it was almost like they had an audience reaction day and said, okay, everybody, what did you think of that? And they all went, it was a bit boring. So then they said, oh, hang on. So they then lifted all the action and chucked it into San Diego and said, right, let's just have what everybody wants, which is dinosaurs running around a normal town.
It's almost like it's a Monty, in the future.
So, yeah, it does. It does feel like 2 or 3 different films,
Yeah. Mark, how many minutes of dinosaurs in The Lost World?
No, I'm not joking. I've actually got it here. There is 4 minutes of dinosaurs in The Lost World.
How many?
34. Out of a running total of 2 hours and 10 minutes.
And it's no better for it.
No.
It's repetitive action sequences as well, but it's called 2, so let's have 2 T-Rexes, and then the end sequence with the raptors. Let's make the kitchen sequence even bigger and better. So it's repetitive beat for beat as well, and irritated. Brought nothing new. It's really low down on my list. I'm sorry, but it's not great.
Who the fuck are you apologizing to?
Not us.
So let's then. I think we've probably said all we want to say about 2. Let's neatly now go into Jurassic Park 3, as it says.
Fantastic. Shorter, brilliant.
Yeah, it was the right length for a cash-in that doesn't have anything to say or add to the overarching story. Yeah, it was an hour and a half. It was an hour and a half toy app. That's all it was. That's fine.
Alan.
Yeah. Oh, that bit's crap.
It's a masterpiece of filmmaking. It's a work of art. I love Jurassic Park 3. It's got a running total of 93 minutes, and we have got it here now. 47 minutes of dinosaur time, nearly half the movie. It delivers. It gives what it wanted. We promised. We want to go and sit down and watch dinosaurs rip things to shit. And the action sequences are new and fresh compared to the other 2. Oh, and the Spinosaurus is wonderful. If I could lie a dinosaur down and make love to it, it would be a Spinosaurus. Jurassic Park 3. I'm telling you, it's one of the best action movies with dinosaurs in I will ever see in my entire life. End of story.
Oh, can I have some of your medication?
It isn't great, Mark. It's
wonderful.
It's not. It's
wonderful.
I appreciate Mark's point. I don't think it's as good. I don't think it's on the pedestal that he's holding it to, but I absolutely appreciate his points. And yeah, because you've actually swayed me a bit in terms of my ranking. Because I had 2 and 3 level, but yeah, I was undecided between 2 and 3.
You've got to look at and also what sells it better is we have got a simple, basic story. We've got to keep movies rescuing. Let's go and find the second-rate Indiana Jones to go and get him. Let's go and get him, bring him back. They deliver on the promise, and there's dinosaurs chasing after them, and it's great. And they even communicate with velociraptors at the end. Talk about...
Hold on a minute. Which movie is this one?
3.
I couldn't tell from the plot then.
No, yeah, Mark.
This is the second, the third world.
This is Jurassic. This is Jurassic Park 3, right?
3. Okay, we're on 3. The short one, great.
Yeah, the 2 bits that let it down for me. Yeah, and I appreciate what you're saying. I think by the time everybody got to the end of this film in I think it was 2001, everybody was suffering from a little bit of fatigue and went, really? The 2 bits that kill it is Martin's already done it. Alan, that bit is terrible. And yeah, the bit that really infuriates me is the communicating with the velociraptors. It's diabolical, that is.
No, you're wrong. The Alan bit is, put it into context, this guy went through a traumatic experience. He's on a plane flying back to the island. He's asleep.
Traumatic experience with Laura Dern?
I can get the PTSD stuff, but
it's not executed.
Ridiculous.
It's perfect.
And you can see what he wants to do. It's just that it does it. It's so damn funny. It's one of the saving graces for me. I ridicule it, but it's one of the things that I actually remember that film for.
The box office would agree with me.
The tank, the velociraptor's face is there, and she's looking, and all of a sudden it moves. Oh, I love that bit. It's great.
Have you got what the box office was?
Spinosaurus Rex. We're talking like an animal big Rex goes stomping around, and he's.
Did you sell many?
Ninja. And the only
Did you
reason
sell many of those? Or did everyone just buy the T-Rex and the Raptor like usual?
Yeah.
I'm assuming everyone just bought the T-Rex and Raptor.
The Jurassic Park 3 box office, I think, was 350 million. I think by that time everybody had said, we think we've done now. We think we've seen enough. And it had to stagnate for a while, didn't it? Because it wasn't.
Yeah, we'll give it a break for a while, and then we'll bring it back.
Yeah.
And when they brought it back, it was a world, not a park. They moved to a world.
Look, I'm going to have nothing bad said about Star-Lord Peter Quill being in Jurassic World. I'm having nothing in the popular Blu-ray 3D format as well. This one, Martin. I'm having.
This in the nice cheap DVD format. I'm not going to
nothing bad said about Jurassic World. Jurassic World made me feel like I did when I went to see Jurassic Park. I thought Jurassic World was great.
Jurassic World is the first thing that Vicky went and bought me and took me to the cinema to go and see in 3D when we first started seeing each other. So I've got fond memories of it anyway. But when I saw it, I thought it was fantastic. The pacing is great. The action is great. I enjoyed the story. There's comedy elements in there. There's the military elements in there. I came back. I downloaded it on the Pirate Bay and watched it again.
No, he definitely didn't do that.
He paid for it.
The reason why this works so much better than any of the others is for a couple of years prior to this coming out, I was trying to get Georgia and Bryony to sit and watch the Jurassic Park movies. And they watched the first one, oh, it's boring. The second one, what the hell's going on? Well, they enjoyed the third one because they would, because it's out. But
you put Chris Pratt in, bang.
I put Jurassic World on, and Georgia fell in love with this movie, watched it over and over again, got the T-shirts, got the toys, and it struck a note with her, and it struck a note with Bryony, and it's just fantastic.
Did she fall in love with the movie, or did she fall in love with Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
Element of Chris Pratt there, but it was the movie. It was the dinosaur. She loves Blue, the Velociraptor, and I just think it just works. And I just love the tag team set piece at the end when they're fighting the Indominus Rex, and the idea of having this new dinosaur that's been created as a hybrid of the T-Rex and the Velociraptor and what other bits. Some.
Do you want to go first for me? Do you want to go first, Ronan?
I loved it.
No, you go for it. You go for it.
Okay, then I'll go for it straight away. Right. I do love the action on this. It's fantastic. I bought it. I'll sit down and watch it. It's fantastic. You know, you can plenty to enjoy there. I'll go back to once again. The thing that this lacked compared to the first one, it's got everything that Jurassic Park had. I mean, pretty much everything. They rewrite the script and do everything, every character, everything is there. The action's better. There's more dinosaur stuff. The dinosaur stuff is even better. It's fantastic. It's just a little bit soulless. It has to point you in every direction that it's going every time. As we said, the romance of it all, yeah, okay, you can appreciate that they're telling you about it, but your first one, you weren't sure if Sam Neill and Laura Dern were together or not, and then halfway through you kind of find out there was subtlety to it, and then suddenly you find out, yes, they are together. It's pointed out straight away that they've been in a failed relationship, and now they're coming back to do the moonlighting thing. Like, oh, will they, won't they? Are they back again? Oh, let's see.
Ronan? You see, I appreciated that. I think that's how it should be dealt with, rather than kind of have that badly executed with the romantic tension throughout the film, and them kissing randomly at the end when there's been no chemistry between them. I really, really liked the fact that they got to the point and said, yeah, we went and it didn't work. We're parking that.
Dinosaurs.
Moving on.
Fucking romantic element. Dinosaurs biting the
Look
shit.
at the angry man. Look at him.
What the?
Dance, Monty, dance. Dance, Monty.
Movies with dinosaurs and shit. Where's the romantic bollocks come from? Who cares? Jesus.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It wasn't there, and they didn't try and shoehorn it in. They dealt with their relationship to start with. There's been some shit films that were like, they're romantic, or there's been nothing going on, and then they're just, at the end, they have a smooch. And it's like, what the fuck? And I look at Thor again for that.
It's all the people. Fuck no one.
No, all right.
Why are you getting so upset when I'm agreeing with you?
Nuance. No. Let's completely wave a flag at this. Hold on. There's a romantic story here. There's a romantic story. It's failed. Let's go.
Yeah. I
mean,
I don't know why Mark's getting so upset in agreeing with me.
Well, he is the Munt.
With you, Ronan, I just can't understand the point of the conversation between the two of you when we're talking about a film with fucking dinosaurs in. We're not talking about that. And
not about dinosaurs.
Okay, what I'm saying is what's lost between the first film and all the others. It's just a little bit soulless. It's a little bit point you in the right direction every time rather than make you think about it at all. But it's still packed with action. I bought it. It's fun to put on. It
actually has my favourite death.
Brain candy.
The Jurassic World has my favourite death. My favourite
Is it going to be the assistant being eaten by the Mosasaurus? Yeah.
That was awesome. I like the way she was getting like tossed around with the pterodactyls, and then it was just like, and then the pterodactyl gets her, and then she gets eaten by the Mosasaurus. Brilliant, fantastic.
But isn't that the kind of death normally saved for some major villain or some really creepy guy or something? Suddenly from out of nowhere, she just gets a really, really punished, persecuted death. As you say, she's attacked by the pterosaurs or whatever. She's taken by the boat.
You know what, though? She deserved it because she's an Irish actress and she was playing a British person, so she fucking deserved it.
Oh, but she's great in Merlin. She was cracking.
That was one of the most complained about deaths on screen because they said it was so unnecessary. It was so unnecessarily brutal. I loved it. I thought it was great.
the ocean dino coming at the end and taking the Indominus out. Did you see it coming?
No, and that's amazing. That I love that.
I love that.
Yeah, I like that. I felt that, like, T-Rex is still the king. After all the turns of
always.
it's like T-Rex is still the king.
Yeah. No, I loved it.
T-Rex is still the king, but as soon as they're by the water's edge, oh yeah, Motorsaurus is coming out now.
There are a few bits, bless him, Irfan Kanu we've lost today. Him conveniently being the only helicopter pilot on the island, which was just like, what? Oh, I'm the only one. Really? On an island without a landing strip, the only person who can fly is the multi-billionaire. So yeah, that was a bit crap. Claire running around in high heels, outrunning a T-Rex.
No, hold on, I'm just getting ready.
Yeah. Claire outrunning a T-Rex on heels. Yeah, that was it. We need more teeth. But I love that line. But it was, yeah. But other than those niggles, I love
My niggle with it is the fact that somebody gave Henry Wu a job again. Like, let's be clear. Yeah. The problem in Jurassic Park was, well, one of many problems, but one of the main ones was the fact that the dinosaurs started breeding because Henry Wu fucked up as a geneticist.
He screwed up his job.
What can be pinned on him?
Hang on.
And they employed him again?
No.
And he again fucks up. Guys, I don't think Henry Wu was a very good genetic scientist.
What do you mean? Life finds a way. Life finds a way. Henry Wu is irrelevant. Life found a way, mate.
Like that he must be the only scientist, the only guy with that knowledge, because they just keep employing him all the time. But the same, but actually, he fails upwards. He's like one of those guys in an office you all hate. He just fails upwards every time.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's my niggle.
But out of interest for this one, for a film that is just over 2 hours long, there is nearly an hour of dinosaurs in this one. 50 minutes.
There is another niggle. The motorbike bit. So Chris Pratt's driving along. He turns to his right, and they're like wingmen. Yeah, that was a bit cack as well. But
I love that. When that was in the trailer, I was Star-Lord on a motorbike going through the jungle, flanked by raptors. I was like, fucking take my money.
That is wonderful. That part of the film is, and you got to put it in context. He does raise them and breed them and look after them. Something the same as a bloke on a bike over the field with his dogs running around with him that he's been training for years.
But the Tiger King, he is like the Tiger King of dinosaurs.
Velociraptors.
He's gay as a $3 bill. That goddamn T-Rex, Carol Burnett, bitch.
I think we all quite liked it, so let's do it then. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Fallen Kingdom in the popular 3D Blu-ray format, Mark.
Attack of the Clones.
DVD. I'm not paying for a Blu-ray for this piece of crap.
I think it was peak soullessness that Martin goes back to. I don't think it's as bad as The Lost World or Jurassic Park 3. I think there's an understanding that they can't just have them on an island chasing people. That's been done to death. That's where you got the fatigue with Jurassic Park 3. I understand they're trying to bring him in a new direction. I appreciate that. I think it's something that has to be done. Did it land? I don't think so. I hope from the next film that it will put Fallen Kingdom in a bit more context, and it'll be like, yeah, it was a slow second one, but it was leading to this, and it needed to be done to fill in that story, a bit like the way Age of Ultron did with the MCU leading into Endgame. That's kind of the hope I have for Fallen Kingdom right now. I get what we're trying to do. I don't think it landed, but I hope in the context of things it works out.
On that point, I think with this, they've actually got a trilogy set up in mind, and it's quite clear that this movie is the stepping stone movie. going back to us about the prequels lacking that proper structure, is that the structure is there with this film because they're taking the monsters off the island and then bringing them into the world, and this is the story of how they get there. The problem is with this story is how they get there. The execution is shit.
Yeah.
For a sequel that is your second part of a trilogy, it's no Empire Strikes Back, is it? It just doesn't work. And the reason
where it buggers up for me, quite simple. This does. Unfortunately, this tries to do what I've argued about. Said they're all quite soulless, but this one actually tries to put the soul back in it again with the little clone girl and the idea of, like, you know, man being punished and everything. But unfortunately, it just doesn't work. They try too hard at it, and it ends up with the worst bit. You know, they're alive like me. Oh, really? They've got to be free. They're alive like me. Really, how many people have you murdered, little girl? Because those things are going to kill a lot of people. As soon as you release them out there, they're going to kill a lot of people. I mean, she's basically becoming a mass murderer just by pressing a button. That's a very, very accomplished little 10-year-old girl. You know, how many kids have done that?
The adults in the room just let her. They just let her.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to speed up. No, I'm not. I'm going to turn my back, and now everything will be fine. Oh, bugger the little girls. Let them all out to kill.
Yeah.
I think where I sort of lost it with it is the scene when they're on Isla Sorna and the volcano's going on, and it's all very unbelievable and full of action.
The dying dinosaur.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's a tearjerker.
So, you know, the Brachiosaurus is clearly upset. It's going to die. They're going, we've got to leave this poor animal there, which is a shame. And I remember I got my son with me. He was crying. And then it sort of falls flat after that. You're like, oh, yeah.
Half of the film is in somebody's house, and we've got a dinosaur, which is, again, another hybrid. Oh, well, that's a clever idea. Where did we go wrong last time? Let's make another hybrid dinosaur. That irritated me.
Yeah. And let's bring in Kid and Play for a house party movie with dinosaurs. There you go, kids.
Then it just turns into a dinosaur auction that goes wrong, and I'm just thinking, what the hell's going on? And then let's get on top of the roof and have the dinosaurs jump around on top of the roof, and I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, what's happened? But I also find it a bit similar to Lost World in the story beats as well in some places. Hands up here, I did watch the Honest trailer on this today, which reminded me of them story beats. Got an old man wanting to send an expert back to an island, so you've got the bloke had a babe with a pig who's now sending the girl with the high heels back.
That'll do, Raptor. That'll do.
The dinosaur sent to another secret island. And it's very repetitive and mixed and convoluted, and the story doesn't hold together. I'm just
hold on. Wait a second. You mean you're saying that Jurassic Park repeated story beats? I can't believe this. No.
Let's make dinosaur bad. Dinosaur eat people. Let's try and get away. That is the story beat, isn't it?
I've got with it.
There's lots of fun action. Check your brain at the door, but then they try and make it as if they're trying to make you think. They try and make it seem as if it's intelligent, as if they're putting some soul and effort into it. But really, it should have been like the first one. Just watch it for the fun that it is. It should have just checked itself as a bit of brain candy, a bit of eye candy, and just enjoy it. But it tried to be more than it is. And now it's going to be, the next one's going to be terrible because it'll probably be man crossed with dinosaur, mutant, big army things. It's going to be a stink of a movie.
And there's no action sequences that really stick out with this one either, that you can go, oh, that...
It's not bad. You know, when it comes in through the bedroom and chases them out onto the roof, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I was just fatigued with it, like I am... you get sometimes. I just felt that it's clearly a setup movie for the next one, but it isn't very good setup movie.
Yeah. You won't setup though. It's the very end where they're doing like the T-Rex and the lion, the raptor running along the road, the surfer about to be eaten by the mosasaur. You know, there's some fun stuff that's really, really obvious, and I don't mind this movie being obvious. What I resent is when it tries to be something that it isn't. It tries to pretend to be an intelligent film. Just live with what it is.
Yeah, that's where Jurassic Park 3 does it right, because it knows it's not an intelligent film. It's an action dinosaurs on the screen. It's dino exploitation.
I'm going to paraglide with them. I'm going to paraglide with the pterosaur.
I know. I think after such a high of Jurassic World, we fell right down to earth with the sequel.
I just think there was with a lot of these big blockbusters, it just felt like a bit of a churn, and it was repeat, and it just felt like it was forced upon us again. It was all right.
Paying full due respect that it deserves, though. So where would you rank them all then now?
All right. So I'll start this off. Mine is as follows: Jurassic Park. I think the original is still the best. Then it goes Jurassic World. Then it goes Jurassic Park 2. Then Fallen Kingdom. Then Jurassic Park 3. I think Jurassic Park 3 is that bad. So the original is still the best for me, hence why I wear the T-shirt. Then Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 2, Lost World, Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic Park 3.
I'll be quite happy to say I'd go Jurassic Park 1 is obviously number 1. Obviously. Jurassic World, yeah, I'll go as number 2. It's the next best thing. Then I don't really care. 2 and 3, I can't really, but 3's half hour shorter, so maybe that gets the 3rd place. Kingdom and 3, fight it out. The Kingdom's got a lot of stuff. It looks fantastic and everything. As I say, it has ideas above its station. It tries to be something that it really isn't. It tries to be that. I should back it for trying to be better than what it's given to be, but I should back it for that. But it's almost like it's flicking the V's at you behind your back. It's taunting you, really. Is that how? Yeah, you think that I'm a good film. You think that I'm a good film. I'm not, but you think that I'm a good film. So 1 Jurassic Park, 2 World. The others, maybe 3 next because it had the good grace to be half hour shorter and just pack in the action. I'm not really bothered about the other ones. I'll go with whatever you guys think.
Ronan? Go on, Mark. Go on then. Mark, go for it.
I've got Jurassic World at number 1.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 3 at number 2. It is what it is. It's a movie. Don't care what anybody says. And then I've got
what a month.
The first one at number 3. And I can't make my mind up about the other 2 pieces of shit. It's just, it's really difficult. If we're going to go for what it looks like and a trying with the story, I think maybe Jurassic World 2 just beats Jurassic Park 2 for me. So that way around. But going back over it, if I wanted to pick up a Jurassic World movie and just watch it as a standalone, then Jurassic Park 3 I would. An hour and a half, dinosaurs killing each other, walk away. So that's why Jurassic Park 3 is at number 2 instead of Jurassic Park 1. Because I can just watch that as a standalone throwaway movie.
Oh, he's got mental.
Yeah, I think you've got to watch him in context.
I don't know whether we should call someone now because Munt is obviously having some sort of breakdown. I mean, this seems like a cry for help to me.
Go on then, Ronan.
So for me, Jurassic Park, the first one is my top one.
Okay.
Followed by Jurassic World. I will quite happily watch those 2 back to back, and just not watch any of the others. I think they're, as Mark says, Jurassic Park 3 is a standalone film. I would regard those 2 together as a standalone. So Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and I would put Fallen Kingdom next. Because again, like, it ties into what Martin was saying about trying to give it some good graces because it's trying to do something else. That's why I put it number 3, because it's not landing, but damn it, it's trying.
It's the little engine that could have Jurassic World.
Yes.
I can be better. I can be better. I will be.
The little engine that could. The little engine that kind of tried. So that goes number 3, and then number 4, kind of based on what Mark was saying, because I had The Lost World and 3 kind of neck and neck. I didn't know where to put them, but Mark has kind of swayed me to put number 3 as being slightly better. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, half hour, because I'm a completist and I like to watch franchises on the trot. Yeah. The one film that, you know, if Jurassic Park 3 is going to speed up a more painful part, it's like it's the plaster you rip off quickly, isn't it?
It's a wax
grip. Of franchises, so I'll put that number 4, and then The Lost World's number 5.
Okay, so that's not bad. I think overall the consensus is, if democracy still rules, I think we've still got JP as number 1.
Yeah.
Jurassic World as number 2. And then we sort of kick it around inexplicably. Yeah. Jurassic Park 3 anywhere higher than number 5 is beyond me. But, you know, I think Mark's selling of that has moved it up. So you kick around.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with
Jurassic Park 3. And I think you kick around Fallen Kingdom, Lost World, and Jurassic Park 3. Those of you who have watched this, you may disagree. Please, in the comments, tell us why we got this wrong, or why Mark is wrong for liking Jurassic Park 3. Please feel free to go ahead and say you are wrong. You know, yeah.
Help. Is this a cry for genuine medical help?
I mean, look, I'll give you this. Controversially, Revenge of the Sith is worse than Jurassic Park 3. There we go. I'm just going to put that out there. That's my benchmark for shots.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Screen, baby, you're wrong again.
Revenge of the Sith is worse than Jurassic Park 3. So yeah, it looks like we have our rankings there. So, gentlemen, thank you. That's been pretty good.
Thank you.